Welcome to another episode from our show, Anything Goes. Hopefully you have seen the last two shows that we have done, and they continue on the same thread about pre-marriage. We have dealt with several heated topics. Some of them are settled, some of them are meant only to bring up for people to know them and hopefully to do something about them. One is men need to man up. Two, they need to pursue when they really find what they are looking for. Girls need to start trusting, and although they are very self-confident, but their guards sometimes shield them from letting the right men approach. And I'm not sure if we have covered anything else, but again, I'm happy to have Amir, Mary, Makar, and Marianne, and maybe I'll start with you. Again, the general topic for the last 3 episodes, reasons of why we are delaying marriage among our Coptic youth, best youth. Any topic you want to start with?
I think another reason why this might be the case, and if what I said before didn't get hate mail, this is going to get hate mail, okay? But, and with present company excluded, of course, I think there's a quality factor too. I think there's like a deficiency in the quality of the girls. And again, I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm not saying Makar's perfect, but at the same time, and I don't blame them, the fact of the matter is that our culture, because it sometimes suppresses the girl and keeps her locked up until they have no choice but to let her go during college, they're left in this box, which is only Coptic society, because they're allowed to go to church and come back home, okay? And because of that, they're left not knowing anything, not knowing how to critically think, and that leads to mistakes during college because they don't know how to make their own decisions and rule out pros and cons and all of that. But also, they don't have passions that are, that are out of, the mainstream. Like, I get upset when not upset, but yeah, I guess it kind of upsets me when I have a great conversation with a non-Coptic girl that's, morally, like she's good, like morally sound, but at the same time, we could talk about a million things, but then when let's say talk to, a Coptic girl, and I'm not saying it's, it's every Coptic girl, but when I talk to a Coptic girl, there's just nothing there. Absolutely nothing. Oh, so what are your interests? Oh, I just, I like music, or I like that. But it's just very, you try to get something out, but it just...
Is that only quality among girls?
I have something to say. No, I mean, I don't disagree with him at all. I see that, and I also think it applies to guys. I mean, you could be the best church-going guy in the world, but then you sit there and you try to talk to them about anything else, like interests, hobbies, like really anything. Have them start a conversation about anything. And leading conversation is another thing, but we can discuss that later. There's really not much there. And again, a lot of them were raised in the church, and this is what they know, and you can't blame them for that. But you know what? Like, those that are looking for more, I mean, it's going to be hard for someone to kind of communicate with you.
So is that a maturity issue, or is that lack of knowledge, or lack of reading, or, I mean, how do you qualify we're not talking about quality meaning righteous versus sinful. We are talking about quality meaning depth.
Of the human being.
Depth of the personality. The superficiality versus a person who's deep that you can talk to and feel like you have a great, striking conversation. But, I mean, what is the reason for that?
I mean, I think another part of it, I guess the term we'd say is superficial. You're saying it's a very superficial conversation. You're just very on the surface. You're not able to get anything more. So I think another part of it is...
or they're deep in just, one aspect
like all what
life.
He talks about in depth is al-ham.
That's it. That's the only part.
Or their career, and they have nothing.
No, that's fine. It's only millions of viewers. I mean, it's fine.
I mean, I think another part of it is just the getting to know phase. If you're still in that, you're giving 3 threads and she's giving the 1 thread or whatever you want to call it, you're just, again, guarding yourself. So you're a little bit more reserved about your response or whatever. You kind of don't want to lay out everything on the table
So you
at
are
once.
giving the excuse for the girl that her lack of quality is really not true lack, but rather guards up again?
Right, it's kind of... you're
Not
just-
sure if I agree with that, but it's possible. I mean,
Okay, I mean, I don't think that's the
main reason.
average person, but I agree with you. But I don't think that's average.
but even if it applies to girls, it shouldn't apply to boys. I mean, if he's lacking really quality, then it's very hard to claim that because he's
Oh, no,
embarrassed.
not lacking quality, but the appearance of quality.
And sometimes it's just a
Right.
lack of
He's-
interest.
No, we are saying that he is showing off a face of some depth in one aspect in his life, but he's not a well-rounded person that a girl can feel she's enjoying talking with this man.
Well-rounded
Is
is a
that
good
what I-
term.
I
Yeah,
just-
well-rounded.
I don't mean to kind of like dilute the focus of this or kind of just take us off track, but at the same time, I just want to throw into the discussion that there's also different styles. So some people, like, not better or worse, but just more sophisticated talkers or thinkers. And it's not a better or worse thing, by the way. Because some people you can sit with, you'll just have a very like kind, nice conversation. You don't have to talk about deep things. You don't have to use words that have, you know, more than 5 syllables, right? But you're fine. Like they're satisfied with that. And that could be just fine, right? But it doesn't mean that they're not smart. It doesn't mean that they're not deep. They could probably do well in school. They could probably function very well in society. They can probably understand what you say, right? But at the same time, there are other people, like I'll speak for myself. I learned this about myself over and over again, that I need someone who I can talk with and I can hear her thoughts, that we can talk for like hours at a time, because that's what I value in even just my guy friends. That the few guy friends that have like remained with me are people that I can talk with for hours, right? And that's something that I need, because I'm just a communicator. That's me. But some people are not very much communicators. And I don't mean to mess this up. I know you're focused, and I don't disagree
No,
with
it's
you.
not that.
I'm just
I
throwing this in there.
The only reservation that I have, and I'm kind of confused because which marriage, let's say, eventual marriage, do you think would be better functioning and deeper?
You see, what
I mean,
makes a
if
marriage
some-
function better, one of the things that is foundational is a friendship.
Okay.
And this, by the way, will get a couple through so many disputes. There are problems that are unsolvable in marriages. But what will get it through them is not like all these problem-solving techniques. It's their friendship. And if a couple has a good friendship, they will make it, no matter what they're faced with. And that's what I'm trying to say. I don't mean to, again, I agree with what you're saying, and I want to keep talking about it. I'm just throwing this in there that I don't want everybody to feel bad because they can't have a 3-hour-long conversation or because they don't know everything about politics.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I guess we're talking about two different things. There are also, because you mentioned people being just superficial, and that could just be fine. People just like talking about very simple things.
There's superficial and then there's simplicity.
Yeah,
Okay.
simplicity is different.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with being very simple.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And you love to talk to a simple person. But the problem is when you talk to a person who you feel like he's empty-minded.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't anything you can...
But even then, honestly, to be honest with you, I can talk to a simple person. Like, that's fine. We're all human beings. We relate. But I can't marry someone who cannot work with me and flow
But
with
can
me,
anybody?
even if she's simple.
But can anybody marry somebody like that? The thing is, I don't think that's a positive. I personally don't think that's a
No,
positive.
because you're a very
because
simple guy.
Yeah, if you have 2 people who are
They don't
simple-minded,
require-
then they'll...
There are compatibility in even...
okay,
that.
define simple. Because I'm thinking just somebody oh, okay, it'll be okay. Oh, okay. Define simple.
I mean, if you look at a lot of the older people, the older generation, that's how it was. They're just 2 simple people. They get along. Yeah, it's okay. All right. Did you do this? Did you do? That's it. That's how it worked out.
Because we're very.
I know we're very different
I mean,
now.
we're very
I don't agree with that. I'm just saying that there is
we're
people like that.
Yeah. We have a graduate education. We live in New York. We're very produce all the time. We can't sit still. At work, you hit downtime, you find somebody to network with, you find something to do, something to complete. So you check your calendar, check your email. Like, we're always on the go. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry to like add in something else as well, but I think that's another part of the delayed thing is that we've become kind of picky in terms of who we're selecting. Like, we're just like, you're looking for too many things at once, as opposed to kind of, I think the whole conversational thing comes with time. I don't think it's something that's it's going to be easy flowing, but it's going to take time for you to get to know that person.
But
on that
also,
level.
like jumping off on your point, I do see a difference between the type of like people, like let's say who are new from Egypt that get married, and their dynamic, and what they expect from their counterpart, and what we expect from our counterpart. And I feel, based on what we're taught as Coptic Orthodox Christians and what the actual symbolism of being married to somebody is, this is just analogous to your marriage with Christ, and that's supposed to be how intimate and how synergistic it should be and all of that. To be honest with you, I sometimes don't get that from
American girls.
No, not American, but from the like people from like the Arabic speakers or the people.
I'm not sure.
Am I allowed to talk? I feel like I'm talking too much. I don't, honestly, I think, to be completely honest with you, I think from a guy's point of view, the young women from Egypt are actually they could be a lot deeper than we know. But I think the communication, the language thing is just, there is no way, I just don't know what to do. Like, even if she's full of great thoughts and great things, what am I going to do? Like, we're like paralyzed. We're in straitjackets, It's like we can't talk with each other. Nothing wrong with that. It says nothing about her quality. It's just...
But I want to get back to her point, because I feel that's more practical than any other one, which is, am I ready to compromise in non-essential things? Because if I still stay still in the things that I am looking and searching for, certain measurements actually, not qualities. And if I don't get, say, that height or that type of beauty or that, what I'm saying is maybe one of the reasons we are not marrying sooner is we becoming very picky and very searching for
Locked
only
down
one,
with
two,
the
three.
non-essentials, like you're saying. And we kind of have
again,
to
I'm not
know.
saying you should compromise in the main thing, but what do you see about that? What do you think of
Can
that?
I say something about that? I think, I'll speak personally, we worry because we've seen the older generation have so many failed marriages, and even parents who, they've stuck it out, but they're not happy. So it's a really big risk to take. Like, you might as well be by yourself. You're happy, you're living life, to put yourself in a situation then just because you happen to take that risk, it's a lifetime.
No, but I'm not asking you to compromise in any essential things.
But even some, I guess it depends on what you're talking about, what quality.
A boy who is interested in a certain type of hair and a certain type of eyes and a certain type of physique or something.
Okay, that's.
We get caught up
Okay, well,
in
you
the
know what? With
nonsense.
guys, it is the appearance, and with women, I think that factor is, their position in society, just, their career, their ability for them to provide them things. And
But I think it's about knowing what, like you're saying, non-essential things are and knowing what your non-negotiables are. Kind of figuring out what your actual things are that you can't negotiate about a partner.
I'll take what you're saying, and because I agree with it. But at the same time, I just want to say that a lot of times as much as we could write it down on a piece of paper, we have no idea what our non-negotiables are.
And you only know that by getting to know.
We can say Coptic, or we can say Oriental Orthodox Christian. I'll write that. But maybe it doesn't mean anything. Does that mean that they go to church on Sundays? Does that mean they know Tasbihah? Does that mean that they know the patristics? What does that even mean, right? We don't even know what we want sometimes. And there's stories over and over again of like, you know, a woman who her dad was so hard on her all the time, so she wanted to get with a passive guy, and now she's complaining that he's not taking any leadership in the relationship. So then she realized, oh, well, I wanted a passive guy, but I really need an active guy who's more tender, right? Like stuff like that.
But maybe we're being too selfish also. It's kind of like we're saying, what do we want? But, you know, why not think of it from the other side? Like, what can I give to this to help him give me what I want?
Well, okay.
I mean, what I'm finding honestly, to speak personally, I'm not finding myself like lacking women that I'm interested in. It's more that the wall I keep hitting, I find, is a dynamic in this pre-exclusive phase. And honestly, I've gotten lots of opinions on it, even from non-Egyptians. And it really doesn't seem like, I mean, as much as I have lots to learn, but it doesn't seem that, like in general, I'm doing the wrong thing. And I feel like a lot of, I mean, I feel like I pick great girls that I'm like, I don't know, hope it's not funny I'm saying girls, but, you know, great young women, great women, and like to even start like seeing what the deal is, right? And but then I just hit a wall of like somehow the dynamic is never right, right? And I can tell you an example. Millions of viewers here, billions. No, I'll tell you an example. One time I was at a reception. I'm sitting there at a table, and like there's a girl. I'll keep saying, is it okay if I say girl or no? That's fine. Okay. All right. I hope it doesn't mind the millions. There's a girl sitting on like the other end of the room, right? So we're making eye contact, whatever, right? The signals are happening, right? But I was kind of not what?
Sounds like a movie.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know you're
yeah.
big about your magic.
Even when I get the magic thing, it doesn't work. So, looking at each other from the other side of the room, but I was tired. I wasn't even gonna, I just wasn't feeling well that day, right? So I wasn't gonna do anything. But it just happened that as I was walking like towards the couple that was married at that reception, for the reception was for, we like bumped into each other, right? And then we started talking, we got interrupted. I messaged her on Facebook, we exchanged a few times, and then I smoothly put it in, and I'll tell you why I'm saying smoothly, by the way, because I got opinions on it. And then, so I smoothly put it in there, and I said, why don't we talk about this over dinner or something, right? Yeah, well, coffee, I said dinner, right? So whatever, right? Well, this is the thing, right? So there's so many like different things that people can say here, right? I got so many opinions, right? Friends within the church, right, said, wow, that was pretty good what you said. Maybe you shouldn't have made it dinner. You should have said coffee, right? And then another one said, but Makar, honestly, if you would have said that to an American girl, you would have had no problems. She would have went out with you, right? That's one opinion from my friends. Happened? Oh, no. Oh, sorry. I forgot to say that.
Hold on, Makar. I know you want to know the end of the story, but our time is up. And we have covered a few things, and as usual, we have many things we did not cover. I promise you we'll get back about the same topic. Until next time, have a great time, and God bless. Thank you.